Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So we will start off by practicing the practice hand, and we will be using the nail slayer supply sticks, so no secret square tips, along with the MAC nail glue to apply them. So quickly I will just be sizing out the nail tips and making sure they fit nicely sidewall to sidewall, and then off camera I do go ahead and apply them. So for today's length, I did want to go for kind of a shorter length than I typically do, so I do only have about 3 magnets on the nail tip cutter, and I will be trimming them down to like a medium length. Then taking my 80/80 grit hand file, I will be shaping up the sidewalls to make sure that is nice and flush, along with blending the nail tip in with that natural nail area as well. So for today's acrylic, we will be using Precious Peony. This is from our Shimmer Blossom collection with KAIROSE Nail Supply. It is a very nice, beautiful cover color. So I am starting off by taking a medium-sized bead of acrylic and applying it where the nail tip and the natural nail meets, and I'm just gently patting that down towards the free edge. Next, I am taking kind of like a small to medium sized bead of acrylic and applying it right below the cuticle area, and then just using the tip of my brush to gently push it up so that way we can avoid some overflowing. And then after I get that nice and situated, I will go ahead and blend that in with the rest of the nail. And then here I'm just adding another bead of acrylic just kind of in the center to kind of build up a little bit more thickness. Since this is a practice set, I don't typically build up a nail tip, well, like the nail super thick. So I do keep it pretty thin, but not super thin, if that makes any sense. But I will go ahead and just let you guys watch the rest of the application process, since I will be doing the same exact thing on the rest of the nails, and I will come back in when it's time to shape and file. So this is what the nails are looking like after the application's been nice and applied. It is time to file, so I will be using the fine 5-in-1 drill bit and going around the cuticle area just to make sure everything is nice and flush. And for reference, I do always have my drill at the speed of 9,000 RPMs when doing my finish filing using my e-file. Next, I will be taking a medium grit sanding fan. This is from Nails and Blinks, and I will also be going around the cuticle area just once more, making sure not to overfile in that area, and then I will also be going over the surface of the nail to smooth that out as well. Next, I will be going back in with that 80/80 grit hand file and going underneath the nail just to get any acrylic that might have spilled over when doing the application. And then I will also be shaping up the sidewalls to make sure that is nice and flush. And then later on, I will be flipping the hand over to file the frieze to make sure that is nice and squared off as well. And then lastly, I'm just taking this little buffer here and buffing over the surface of the nail because we will be doing some nail art and we want to make sure we have a nice smooth surface for that. So these are what the nails are looking like after everything's been shaped and filed. So let's get into what we need for today's nail art. We do need some classic white gel polish, some pink gel polish, some yellow gel polish as well. I am recreating a set. I will make sure to pop up the photo. And I am using these little stars that did come in that little container there that I showed. I didn't have any of the actual stars that matched the inspo pic, but I did use these ones. Some solid nail glue gel, some rhinestone glue, and a silicone tool, along with some of these like gold caviar beads. So what I am doing first is I'm applying that yellow gel polish to my nail palette and applying a little bit of white gel polish just to kind of lighten it a little bit. And then here I am using my 25mm liner brush to create some French tips. So I am just doing French tips on the index finger and the ring finger. After I am done with the French tips here, I will go ahead and cure for a full 30 seconds in the nail lamp. So this next part, you will need an airbrush machine or whatever you use to kind of create that airbrush effect. So I'm just applying a little bit of acetone into the bowl of the airbrush, and then I am applying some of that pink gel polish in there, but later on you will see that it was a little bit lighter than what I was expecting, so I did add a different color pink gel polish in there just to kind of darken this up. So when doing this process, I like to apply the acetone and the gel polish, and then just use the brush from the gel polish bottle to kind of mix it up and then wipe it off on the side, so that way the acetone does not contaminate the rest of the gel polish in the bottle. So here I'm just spraying it on a paper towel, and you can see that the pink does show up pretty nicely, which it was a cute pink. But after applying it onto this nail here, it was looking a little bit lighter than what I was expecting. So like I said, I did go ahead and just choose a different pink to add to it. So I am just using this hot pink color from Madam Glam and adding just a little bit of that to the previous pink we already have in the bowl, and then just mixing that up as well. And then here you can kind of see it is a bit darker than the previous one, so we will be using that color and just applying the airbrush effect to the center of the pinky and middle finger. And then I am also kind of ombreing it with that yellow gel polish French tip. And then once I am done doing my entire airbrush effect, I will go ahead and cure these in the light for a full 30 seconds. You always want to make sure to cure after. Since you are using a gel product, you want to make sure to fully cure before moving on to the next step. So for this next part, I am just using that rhinestone glue and applying it in the center of the pinky nail, and this is what we will be using to adhere that star little like charm or whatever. But like I said, in the inspo picture, it was like the 4-pointed star with like some little lines that come out the center of it, if that makes sense. But I didn't have those, so I just used this star here, and then just used my mini LED light to kind of flash cure. And then I was trying to use the nail glue like brush in there to kind of create the 3D lines that I was wanting, and it was just too thick, and well, the gel wasn't thick enough. The brush was thick and the gel that was there was kind of thin, so I am just using a little bit of that on my nail palette and using a different brush to kind of get that 3D line effect, if that makes any sense. And then I am just quickly flash curing in between each like little line for about 5 seconds to make sure it stays in place while I move on to the rest of the process. And I really do apologize for my hair kind of peeking through in the corner of the screen there. I did kind of change the camera angle a little bit, and I did have it placed a little bit higher, so my head kind of does peek underneath, so I do apologize again for my hair kind of poking through. But I am doing the same exact thing on the index finger like I did on the ring finger, and then I'll come back in when it's time to explain the middle finger. So off camera, I did go ahead and kind of roll out the first ball for this. We will be doing those trendy 3D gel flowers. So what I am doing is taking the opposite end of my cuticle pusher and applying that to my little palette, and I'm just using my finger to kind of roll up the gel into a ball, and then just picking it up again with that opposite end of the cuticle pusher and placing it where I want it to be placed. And I will be doing this exact process for each of the petals, and then we will move on to the next step. So now using my silicone tool, I will be using that to kind of shape out the petals of this flower. And I did previously just purchase these silicone tools off of Amazon, and I highly recommend them. They do help out so much when creating these flowers. If I remember, I will have it linked down below, so I will try to do that. If not, just comment down below and I will comment the link underneath that. So after I get all the petals nicely shaped out how I want it, I will be using the mini LED light to kind of flash cure that as well. And then I am using that same pink gel polish that we mixed for the airbrush effect and kind of blending that in with the petals to kind of give it more detail. And then after that, I will use my little light again just to flash cure for about 10 seconds before moving on to the next step. Now to give it a little bit more depth, I am using that yellow gel polish to kind of put in the center of that flower as well. And does give it a nice touch as well. So after I am done with that, I will use my mini LED light again just to flash cure before adding the little caviar beads in the center. So to add the beads, I am taking this little rhinestone glue again and applying it in the center of the nail, and then just using my like crystal picker tool and applying some of those caviar beads in the center and just kind of situating it how I want it to be. And then I will go ahead and flash cure for about 10 seconds, and then I will go ahead and put the nail in the light, well, the entire hand in the light, and this will help fully cure everything afterwards. This is how the nail set came out. I think it came out super cute. It is time to top coat, so I will be using the classic diamond gel top coat from KAIROSE Nail Supply. I do always have the link down below, and if you use code YouTube, it does save you 15% on your purchases. I am just going ahead and applying that to all of the nails, and before curing, I will wipe down the sidewalls to make sure it keeps a nice square shape, and then I will go ahead and put it in the light for a full 60 seconds. That is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!